sharpen your pencil and use masking tape to trace 10 circles at least. You can definitely do more. We're going to have those circles overlap. Start with a clean paintbrush, and we're going to add some water onto our paint palette of our color choice here. We're going to start with red. So I got that pan wet first with water, and then I put the paint that was from that into the lid tray. And so I have an even amount of red, and I can always clean up the edges, and I'll show you guys those tricks closely one-on-one. Fill up 3 circles with red. We're starting with our primary colors. That's all we're going to use today. I like to start on the edges and then work my way in with my paint. So my paintbrush is wet, and I am getting the same amount and the same saturation of paint on my brush, going back and forth, and I'm going to let those areas dry, clean my brush, and I'm going to start with yellow, my second primary color. Again, I got a lot of paint into the tray to mix an even saturation amount of color. And I'm making sure to rotate my paper so that my hand doesn't get in my paint. So right now I'm not painting over the red. I did in a little bit, and then I realized I should let my paint dry before I move on to that part right there. I should have let that dry a little bit more because it started to bleed. So I cleaned off my brush because I made orange. And now I'm just going around the red circles for now. Later I'm going to go back and fill in those overlapping sections with yellow to make orange. So right now I have 3 red and 3 yellow. And now I'm going to get my brush wet and my palette wet and add water and blue together to make a large amount of blue. And now I'm outlining that area. So I'm going to have 3 blue circles. So I start with the edges and then I work my way in so I can make nice clean lines. Now my hand is overlapping on top of a red and yellow circle, but those are dry. I gave it time to dry in between. So all those areas that overlap are going to become different colors. We're going to have purple and green and a brown in there. So I don't fill in my whole blue circle just yet because I'm waiting for my yellow and my red to dry in between. Also, I want my blue to be dry as well so that it doesn't bleed into the large areas that I'm working on. So right now we're not getting our color mixing, we're just putting down our primary colors, and you can tell if it's wet or dry on how shiny it is. Oops, sorry for that noise. And then we've got my orange coming in. Now I just got some yellow from a clean brush and I'm overlapping it onto the areas where the yellow and red circle touch. And if you go over, you can just dab it with a paper towel. I'm blowing on it because I'm at home. I don't have to have my mask on, but here at school we want to fan it. So right now I'm putting my blue over the red and it's making a purple. I get a lot of clean water in between. That's what I'm showing you now because I don't want my water to be messy. So right now I got some fresh blue and it's not too watery, and I'm putting it over the yellow area. I'm going to do that in all the areas where the blue and the yellow overlap. And I did a little tiny area that made brown there where the blue, yellow, and red overlap. So right now the blue and red are overlapping to make purple right there as well. I have to wait for things to dry in between. So I put my name on, let it dry, got a piece of paper and fanned it off just so that things don't run. Now this did take me about 40 minutes to do while letting things dry. And of course you can have more circles in there just to have fun. So now that that area is dry, I added in that blue color to make brown, and I just splattered some paint on. My brush has got to be wet in order to do that, and I'm not flicking the brush, I'm holding it and tapping it, creating little raindrops of fun color to fill in the negative space. I hope you have fun.